Hello YouTubers, this is Pinkolay and today we're going to be making a bunny rabbit, a Valentine's bunny rabbit for February 14th, Valentine's Day. I'm using brown and a chunky yarn and I'm using an H hook for this pattern. Now, we're going to start off and we're going to chain 4, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to slip stitch, and we're going to chain 1. And inside this little hole that we just made, we're going to do 6 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is 6. And now we're just going to slip stitch to our chain 1, and we're going to chain 1 again. Now you're going to be working in continuous rounds. To not have a seam, you would not slip stitch. You just continue to keep going around and going around. You might want to use a stitch marker. I like to know where to end. I don't like using the stitch marker, so I'm going to slip stitch with each round. Now we're going to work 2 single crochet into each stitch. It'll give us 12. So I'm going to start right here. Okay, right there. So 1, that's 2, here we go, 3, and this is 4, 5, and 6, 7, and 8, and this is 9, and 10, and this is 11, and 12. And right here is what I call our fake stitch. It looks like a stitch, but it's not. It's just what was left over from when we slip stitch in the first round. So we skip that and slip stitch in our chain 1. And this is what you should have so far. Now we're gonna chain 1 again, and then we're going to single crochet in the next stitch and then 2 single crochets in the next stitch all the way to the end, and we should have 18 after this. So 1, sorry, 1, and then 1, and 2, and 1, and then this is 1, and 2, and 1, and then this is 1, and 2, and 1, and 1, and 2, and 1, and then this is 1, and 2, and 1, and then this is 1, and 2. And remember, this last stitch is not a stitch, it's what I call our fake stitch. So we skip that and we're going to slip stitch to our chain 1. Right. Now for round 4, you're going to single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then 2 stitches, 2 single crochets in the next stitch. So 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, then 2 single crochet. And you're going to continue that all the way around to the end. I'm going to go ahead and finish that off camera, and I'll meet you back at the end, and then we'll begin row 5. Alright, so I finished row 4, and now we're on to row 5. I've chained my 1, and now we're going to do a single crochet in the next 3, and then 2 single crochet in the next stitch after that. So single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, then this one will be 2 single crochet, and we're going to continue that all the way around, and at the end of this round you should have 30 stitches. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish that off camera, and then I'll meet you back at the end and we'll start row 6. Alright, I went ahead and I finished round 5, and I have my 30 stitches, and this is what it should look like so far. Now we're going to do row 6, which is a single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches, and then 2 single crochet in the stitch after that. So single crochet for 4 stitches, and then when you get to that 5th stitch, you're going to put 2 single crochets in that same stitch. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and finish that, and then I'll meet you back at the end and we'll start row 7. So I went ahead and I finished round 6, and as you can see, it's getting bigger with every round we do. So now for our next round, row 7, we're going to single crochet in the next 5 stitches, and then in that 6th stitch you're going to put 2 single crochet. Oops, almost did that. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is 5. Then in this next stitch here, you're going to put 2 single crochet in the same stitch, so 1 and 2, and you're going to continue that pattern all the way to get to the end. I'm going to go ahead and finish that up, and then I'll tell you what to do next. Alright, so I went ahead and I finished row 7, and it's gotten a little bit bigger, but this is what you should have so far. Now, there's not going to be any more increasing. We're just going to single crochet all the way around, and we're going to single crochet from row 8 to row 17. I'm going to go ahead and finish that, and then I'll meet you back at the end of row 17. Okay, so I went ahead and I finished rows 8 to 17, and this is what it looks like. You should have what looks like a small bowl. Now for row 18, I've already chained 1, and for row 18 we're going to single crochet in the next 5, and then when we get to the 6th stitch we're going to single crochet them together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is 5. And now this 6th stitch we're going to go in, grab our yarn. We're not going to yarn over like we would normally do. We're going to go into the next one, pull that yarn through. We're going to wrap around and go through all 3 of those. So I'm going to show you again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're going to do our single crochet decrease. Go in, pull through, go into the next loop, pull through, and then you're going to have 3 on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 3. You're just going to repeat that until you get to the end, and then you're going to slip stitch at the end and chain 1. I'm going to go ahead and finish this, and then I will meet you back at the end, and then we'll start row 19. Okay, I finished row 19, and this is what it looks like. It's starting to get smaller. Now for row 20, we're going to single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and then we're going to do a single crochet decrease. So I'm going to show you 1, 2, 3, then go into the next one, yarn over, pull through. I'll show you again. 1, 2, and 3. And then 1, go in and pull, then go in and pull, 3, and then yarn over and pull through 3. Now, I'm going to go ahead and finish this, and I'll meet you back at the end, and then we'll start row 21. Okay, so I finished row 20. Now we're going to go ahead and do row 21. This will be our last row for the head before we start filling it with our stuffing. Okay, so for row 21, you're going to single crochet in the next 2 stitches and then do a single crochet decrease. So just 1 and 2, and then single crochet decrease. Again, 1 and 2, and then we do our single crochet decrease. And then you're going to continue that pattern all the way to the end. And at the end of this pattern, you're going to start stuffing your head with the stuffing. And then we'll come back and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so I went ahead and I finished row 21. And as you can see, I've stuffed the head. You want to stuff it enough that it's full, but not so much that you have stuffing coming out of the sides of the head. So we're going to leave it like this, and what we're going to do is we're going to cut a long tail for sewing. Cut a long tail for sewing, and then we're just going to take and we're going to pull the yarn through to tighten it and make a knot so it doesn't come apart. And now this is our head, and we're going to take and we're going to sit this to the side. And then we're going to start on our body. So we're going to go ahead and make our slip knot, and we're going to chain 4 like we did before. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to join. And then we're going to chain 1. And we're going to put 6 single crochet into the hole that we just made. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 5. And this is 6. Then we're just going to slip stitch to the top of our chain 1. Okay, then we're going to chain 1 again. And now we're going to work 2 single crochet into each stitch, giving us 12 stitches. So 1 and 2. And I'm going to pull this shut, close my hole. That was 2. Then we have 3 and 4. This is 5 and 6, 7 and 8, this is 9, and 10. Then we have 11, and this is 12. And then again, this here is not a stitch. It is our fake stitch. It is where we slip stitch in the first round. So we're just going to slip stitch to our chain 1. We're going to chain 1 again. And now for row 3, we're going to single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then we're going to single crochet in 1 stitch, and then in the next stitch is 2. So it will be 1 single crochet here, and then 2 here. 1 and 2. And at the end of this round, you should have 12 stitches. I'm sorry, not 12, 18. 18 stitches. So that's 3. This is 4, 5, and 6. This is 7, 8, and 9. This is 10, 11, and 12. This is 13, 14, and 15. This is 16, and our last stitch, 17, and 18. And again, this is not a stitch. Don't be fooled by it. It's our fake stitch. So we just slip stitch to our chain 1, and then we chain 1 again. Okay, and so for round 4, we're going to do 2. It's going to be 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then 2 stitches in that next stitch. So 1 and 2, and then you put 2 here. 3 and 4. So, and you're going to continue that pattern all the way around to the end. I'm going to go ahead and finish this, and then we'll come back and we'll start round 5. Okay, so I finished round 4. It looks like it does when we were doing the bunny's head. So I've chained my 1, and now I'm going to do round 5, and we're going to single crochet in the next 3, and then 2 single crochet in the next. So 1, 2, and 3, and then 2 in this next one. 1 and 2. And you're going to continue that pattern all the way to the end and slip stitch at the end. And then when we're done, I'll show you how to do row 6. So I'll meet you at the end of row 5. I finished round 5, and now we're going to do round 6, which is 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches, and then 2 single crochet in the next stitch. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 1 and 2. And you're going to continue that pattern all the way around to the end, and then when we get back, I'll show you how to do row 7. Okay, so I went ahead and I finished round 6. Now we're going to do row 7, which is single crochet in the next 5, and then 2 single crochet in the 6th stitch. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then in the 6th stitch here, we're going to put 2 single crochet And you're going to continue that pattern all the way around until you get to the end. And then when we get to the end, I'll come back and tell you what to do next. Okay, so I went ahead and I finished round 7. Now for the rows, for the next row, which will be 8 through 11, you're not going to increase anymore. You're just going to single crochet all the way around. And that's rows 8 to 11. I'm going to go ahead and finish this off camera, and I'll meet you back at the end of row 11. Okay, so I have finished rows 8 to 11, and this is what you should have so far. Now, for row 12, what we're going to do is we're going to single crochet in the next 5 stitches and then do a single crochet decrease. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we do a single crochet decrease. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish this off camera. You're just gonna do that pattern all the way around to the end, and then when you get to the end, I'll show you what to do for row 13. Okay, so I have finished row 12. Now we're gonna do row 13, which is just simply single crocheting all the way across to the end. I'm going to go ahead and finish that, and then I'll meet you back at the end of row 13 and we'll do row 14. Okay, so I went ahead and I finished row 13. Now we're going to go ahead and do row 14, which is a single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches and then a single crochet decrease. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then this is our single crochet decrease. And you're going to continue that pattern all the way around to the end. And then when you get to the end, I'll show you what to do for the next row. Okay, so I went ahead and I finished round 14. Now for rows 15 and 16, it's just a simple single crochet all the way around. So I am going to go ahead and finish this. And at the end of row 16, I will meet you there, and then I'll tell you what to do for row 17. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I have finished row 15 and 16. Now we're going to do 17, which is simply single crocheting in the next 3 and then a single crochet decrease. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to do our single crochet decrease in the 4th and 5th chain. You're going to continue this all the way to the end and slip stitch at the end. And then I'll meet you back at the end of row 17, and then I'll tell you what to do next. Okay, so I went ahead and I finished row 17. Now for row 18 to 19, we're just going to single crochet all the way around. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I'll meet you back at the end of row 19. Okay, so I went ahead and I finished row 18 and 19. Now this is our last row. This is going to be row 20, and we're just going to simply single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and then we're going to do a single crochet decrease. So 1 and 2, and then this is our single crochet decrease. You're going to continue that pattern all the way around to the end, and you're going to slip stitch at the end. Then you're going to fill your body with your stuffing, and you're going to tie off a knot and leave a long tail for sewing. Okay, so I went ahead and I finished the body. This is the finished product. I went ahead and stuffed it. I tied it off and I left a long tail for sewing. Now we're going to take and sit this aside just like we did the head. And then I've already made my slip knot, and we're going to start on the ears. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing we did before. You're going to make 2 of these. We're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we're going to slip stitch to join, and then we're going to chain 1 And we're going to put 6 single crochet into the hole that we just made. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now I'm just going to take our tail and pull it to tighten up that hole. Then we're going to slip stitch at the top of our chain 1. Then we're going to chain 1 again. And then we're going to work 2 single crochet into each stitch, giving us 12. I'm working over my tail here. This is 1 and 2. This is 3 and 4, 5 and 6, and this is 7 and 8, 9 and 10, and this is 11 and 12, and then we're just going to not, as I almost did, is I almost went in here and did another 2 single crochet, but I forget, this is our fake stitch. So we're going to slip stitch to our chain 1. Then we're going to chain 1 again. And then for round 3, we're going to work 1 single crochet in the first stitch and then 2 single crochet in the next stitch. So I'm going to work right here. This is 1, then we'll put 2 here. So it's 2 and 3. We should have 18 at the end of this. This is 4, 5, and 6. And this is 7. This is 8 and 9. And this is 10. This is 11 and 12. This is 13. And this is 14 and 15. Then we have 16. Uh-oh. Must have counted wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. If I slip stitch, that makes 18. Okay. Chain 1. And now from row 4 to 8, we're just going to single crochet all the way around. So I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera, and then I'll meet you back at the end of row 8. Alright, so I went ahead and did rows 4 through 8. Now we're going to do row 9. In row 9, we're going to single crochet in each of the next 4. So 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches, and then we're going to do a single crochet decrease. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to do a single crochet decrease. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then a single crochet decrease. Then 1, 2, 3, and 4. And again, our last single crochet decrease. Then I slip stitch to my chain 1. Here we go. Now, finished up row 9. Now, 10 to 11 is simply single crocheting, single crocheting around to the end. I'm going to go ahead and finish that up off camera, and I'll meet you back at the end of row 12. So I went ahead and I finished rows 10 through 12. Now we're going to do row 13, which is 1 single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches and then a single crochet decrease. So 1, 2, and 3, and then a single crochet decrease. Then 1, made a mistake there. 1, 2, and 3, and then a single crochet decrease. Then 1, 2, and 3, and then it is a single crochet decrease. Go, and then I'm going to slip stitch to my chain 1, chain 1 again. Now, for rows 14 and 16, we are going to just 1 single crochet all the way around. I'm going to go ahead and finish that off camera, and I will meet you back at the end of row 16. Okay, so I finished rows 14 through 16. Now we're going to do row 17, which is 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches and then a single crochet decrease. So 1 and 2, and then a single crochet decrease. 1, 2, single crochet decrease. Then 1 and 2, and then this is our last single crochet decrease right here. Then we just slip stitch, chain 1, and then our last rows are row 18 to 20, just simple 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way to the end. I'm going to go ahead and finish that. When you're done with your stitches, you're going to do like we did with all the rest of them. We're going to stuff it, we're going to tie it off and leave a long tail for sewing. Alright, so I will meet you back at the end of row 20. Okay, I went ahead and I finished row 4 through 6. Now we're going to do row 7, which is 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches and then a single crochet decrease. So 1 and 2, and then a single crochet decrease. Then again 1, and 2, then a single crochet decrease. 1 and 2, and a single crochet decrease. That was our last one. And then I'm going to slip stitch, Okay, and now our next rows are going to be row 8 to 11. We're just going to simply single crochet all the way around, no increasing. I'm going to go ahead and finish that, and I will meet you at the end of row 11. Alright, so I went ahead and I did rows 8 to 11, and this is what my arm looks like so far. Now we're going to do our last row, which is row 12, and it's just one single crochet in the first stitch and then a single crochet decrease. So one, then we do a decrease, then one single crochet, then we do a decrease, then we do single crochet, and this should be our last, yep, our last one. This is our decrease, and then I'm going to slip stitch to the chain one. Right, and we're all finished with this arm. Remember, you're making two. So I'm going to cut off my long tail. I'm just going to take my tail and put it through the loop and pull it to secure it. Then I'm going to go ahead and stuff this tiny little hole there. So if you have this tiny little hole and you can't get your fingers in there, you can always use your crochet hook to stuff some of the stuffing in there to get it going. There we go. And of course you always want to stuff just enough. You don't want to overstuff. You overstuff and then you'll have stuffing coming out of the sides. Okay, and there is our arm. And I'm going to wrap that up. I'm going to put that one to the side. Okay, and now I am going to make my I'm going to make my slip stitch there, and now I'm going to move on to the leg, and we're going to make two here. We're going to do the same thing where we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we're going to slip stitch to join, chain 1, and again it is 6 single crochet in the hole. So 1 and 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. And make sure I pull my little tail here as tight as I can to close up that hole. Then I just slip stitch to my chain 1 to join. Alright, gonna chain 1 again, and now we're gonna work 2 single crochet into each stitch. Hold on. Uh-oh. Let's get in there. 1, and this is 2. Then I have 3, and 4, and this is 5 and 6, and this is 7 and 8, then 9 and 10, and this is 11 and 12. And then I'm just going to slip stitch. Slip stitch and chain 1. And now we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and then we're going to do 2 single crochet in the next stitch. So 1 and 2, then 1, then 2, then 1, then 2, then 1, then 2, and 1, and 2, 1, and then 2. And that's our last stitch. Then I slip stitch right here. If I can get in there, to my chain 1. There we go. Chain 1 again. Now we're just for round 4. We're going to do round 4 through 7. Row 4 through 7, we're just going to single crochet all the way around. I'm going to go ahead and finish that, and then I'll meet you back at the end of row 7. Okay, so I went ahead and I have finished row 4 through 7. Now we're going to do row 8, which is 1 single crochet in the first stitch, and then it's a single crochet decrease, then 1, then decrease, 1, decrease, then 1, then decrease, then 1, then decrease, then 1, and this will be our last one, which is a decrease. I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch and chain 1. And now for row 9 through 13, we're just going to single crochet all the way around. I'm going to go ahead and finish that, and I'll meet you back at the end of row 13. Okay, so I finished row 9 to 13, and now we're going to do our last row, which will be row 14, and it is going to be a decrease. Now you might want to go ahead and fill your leg with your stuffing, because it's going to get pretty small. So we're going to do 1 single crochet, and then it is 1 single crochet in the first one, and then 1 single crochet in the next one, and then a decrease. So again, 1 and 1, and then decrease, and then 1 and 1, and decrease. And that is it. And then we slip stitch there. Oh, no chain one. That was our last mark. So then we're going to pull it out. We're going to leave a long tail. I'm going to do the same thing I did with the other ones where I pull my yarn through to secure it. And now I'm going to stuff my leg here. Remember, we don't want to overfill our leg or any of our bunny parts. But we do want to make sure there's enough stuffing. There we go. There's our leg right there. Then I'm just going to go ahead and wrap this up. I'm going to put it to the side. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make my slip knot. And we're going to do our tail. So the same thing, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I slip stitch to join. I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to put 6 in my hole like all the rest of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. And then I'm going to pull to tighten it, close my hole, and I'm going to slip stitch to join from my chain 1. Going to chain 1 again, work 2 single crochet into each stitch. There we go. This is 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, and this is 7 and 8 and this is 9 and 10, and this will be 11 and 12. Then I'm going to slip stitch at the top of my chain 1. Okay, if I can get in it, there we go. Chain 1 again. And now for row 3 and 4, we're just going to single crochet all the way around. So no increases. I'm going to go ahead and finish this off camera, and then we have one more row to do, which is row 5. I'm going to come back and show you what to do for that row. Okay, so I went ahead and I finished row 3 and 4, and it should look like a small tiny little bowl. Our last row, which is row 5, we're just going to single crochet in the first stitch and the second stitch, and then we're going to do a single crochet decrease. Okay, so 1 and 2, then decrease, then 1 and 2 and decrease. And that was it for that. Then we just slip stitch, join, and that's it for this. And then what you want to do is you want to just fill that little tail up with some stuffing. Cut off a long tail and do the same thing we did with the other ones. We put the yarn through the loop just to secure it so it doesn't come apart. And then I'm going to take a small amount of stuffing, a little more, just a tiny bit, not too much. And there you have it. Alright. And now what we're going to do is we're going to start assembling our parts. So I'm going to get my body and my head, and I have my yarn needle here. I am going to put my yarn, I'm going to thread my yarn needle pretty much. Okay, there we go. And this is not going to be hard at all. So basically what we're going to do is we're just going to sit it on top, and we're going to take and go through the stitches. We're going to sew straight through the stitches and into the next stitch. I don't know if you guys can see that, but see, there's my yarn needle, just like this, and you're just going to pull it through just like that, and you're just going to keep going around. So I'm just going to pick up my next stitch and go straight through the next one on the body. Just be careful not to poke any other stitches, and you're just going to keep going all the way around. So go through my next stitch here, and here's my next stitch on here. Just going to keep going. Just like this. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish this up off camera, and I'm going to come back when I'm done. Okay, so I went ahead and I put the body and the head together, as you can see, and I've already started my tail. I'm going to go ahead and sew on my tail, and then you need to do the same thing for the arms and the legs. You're just going to eyeball where the legs are going to go, down here or this way, and then your arms somewhere in here right below the neck, and the ears on top of the head. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that, and then when we come back, I'll show you how to make the face for the bunny. Okay, so I went ahead and I assembled my bunny, as you can see. Ears, head, pretty big, but cute. Now, we're going to set that aside, and we're going to do the face. I'm going to start off with the eyes. I'm going to do the eyes in red for the hearts. I'm going to have hearts as eyes. So I'm going to chain 4. So I'm going to do 3 triple crochets in this first stitch that I made. I am using a G hook. All stitches are going to be worked in this first stitch. So let's go ahead and do our 3 triple crochets. So 1, okay, that's our first triple crochet. Then we're going to do another triple crochet, okay, and then here is our third triple crochet. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to chain one, and then we're going to do three double crochets. So this is one, this is two, and this is three. Okay, then we're going to chain one, and we're going to do one triple crochet here. So one, okay, and then we're going to chain one again. We're going to do three, keep wrapping them twice, three double crochets here. So this is one, two, and three. Okay, and then we're going to chain one, and then we're going to do three triple crochets. So one, this is our first triple crochet here. This is our second triple crochet. And this is our third triple crochet. Oh boy. Okay. And then we're going to chain three, one, two, and three. And we're going to slip stitch into the center. So right in here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So right here. And there we have our lovely, beautiful heart. This is our eye. Now what we're going to do is we're going to leave a long tail. We want to cut off a long tail for sewing. And again, like we were doing the other ones, you want to take your yarn and you want to put it through the loop here to secure it. And then you can also just cut off this tail here. Now remember, you're going to need to make two of these. So there's our lovely heart. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make the pupil of the eye. So I'm still going to be using that G hook, and this is very simple. All you do is chain two, and you're just going to put 6 single crochet in the first stitch you made. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's it. And then all you have to do is just join with a slip stitch. That's it. Make sure you pull tight to close the hole. And then of course you want to cut and leave a long strand because you're going to sew this into the heart. Okay, so I'm going to sew that. And then I'm going to cut off my tail here. It's garbage. And then what you want to do is you want to take and you want to sew this. You can sew it directly in the middle. You can sew it at the top so it looks like the bunny is looking up. You can sew it down to make the bunny look like it's looking down. But you're going to sew these together, and then when you sew this onto here, you're going to take your heart and you're going to sew your heart onto the bunny's face. So you're just going to eyeball it and put it where you think it looks best. And you're going to make the same heart for the nose, but you're going to use a smaller hook. I use a G hook to make the heart for the eye, so you're going to use an F hook to make the heart for the nose. And that's it. That is the entire bunny. Now you can add more hearts. Like I think I'm going to add a heart to the stomach. But that's basically it. And I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial of the Crochet Valentine bunny. And this is Pink Ole, as always, saying happy crochet.